you brought an applicant up here when you did when you started the agenda with the rezoning. And you had a subdivision, you had a spokesperson who was allowed to talk. And then you got to the point towards the end of the whole thing, and she was raising her hand and said, "I'm the applicant, can I speak?" And y'all went on. I know that you had not, and I don't think you voted yet, you just didn't get general consensus without approving the public speaking. I thought you voted, do a nomination vote, I missed that. But anyway, I just didn't see the difference in you allowing Teresa to speak versus the representative on the zoning, on the development. So that's all I wanted for. It was kind of, one person.
It's really one that answered, yeah, I think it would be.
One person was allowed, the other person wasn't. That's all I think about me, just observing.
Yeah, I understand. Zoning cases where we're asked to rezone a piece of property, we have to hold a public hearing.
I understand.
I mean, we allow time for and against and rebuttal. But when it comes to approval of site plans, it's not a public hearing process. It's basically between the zoning board and the applicant. The applicant is there to answer questions that we might have so we can clarify.
I'll still.
So it's not a public hearing.
I'll still be on the zoning thing for you.
Okay.
There you go.
I can appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, your turn.
Hey, Scott Rewards. My wife and I live at 7751 Eversfield Road, like right across the street from the subdivision.
I probably parked in front of your house today.
Probably. Yeah. So
You work at Syngenta, right?
I work at Honda.
Okay.
I was just hoping you guys could make a recommendation, since I'm not really asking a question. You can make a recommendation for where we are, if the documents that are submitted for the subdivision, for example, are those public domain information, and if they are, where we can find them, and then also if there's a way for us to monitor the changes to, property surrounding our house, for example. I know, for example, I spoke with 3 neighbors this morning. One's out of state, one's at the beach, and the other one was not able to come tonight. None of them had any idea that there was a subdivision going up. I'm not being critical. I mean, I know it's not up to me what's done with their property, but.
So, you might be asking.
We have a requirement for rezoning to anybody within a quarter mile to get a notification. Unfortunately, this property was zoned RS30 probably before you were born. So, and I don't know, I mean, I really would like to see sometime that the town develop a listserv so that people can get notice of everything. They just have to opt in, and then, they could opt out. We can talk about it for a long time.
We need that.
The more people have access to information, the better decisions are made.
So is the information on the subdivision, is that public domain?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
And is it available on the website, or can I call the zoning?
it's available on
It
the,
was actually in the meeting packet that went on our website, correct? The plat.
I'll show you exactly where it is, yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you my copy if you like.
Yeah, because I'm sure like the neighbors would love to know what it is. Sure.
I think
We do publish,
yeah, I think that's it.
this packet is published as zoning board packet, but you do kind of have to know it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Ms. Donna?
Gail Dunham, lots of questions here about process, and I agree with this gentleman. If something was rezoned before it was born, I think the neighboring property owners definitely should have been advised. And actually the documents aren't that public. I'm not sure Friday, the agenda for tonight still wasn't on the website, and I'm not sure that it was just a very brief summary about this particular property. But you can't expect everybody in the town to comb the website and look for this stuff. I think you're kind of overthinking the word process. I do feel that an alternate could have been seated this evening. You had 4 of them. It wouldn't be that difficult to swear one of them in. You could have said, gee, we need a Bible. I'm sure there's someone in the audience that would have gone home and gotten a Bible. I have never seen a zoning board meeting before where you refused to seat an alternate. And there were people here that were obviously prepared. I think it was a real mistake not to seat the alternate when there was a vacant seat. I don't know, you make the rules up as you go along, folks, but I've never seen that done before. The problem with the process also, okay, we have one version of a UDO that was completed in 2012. It's been 5 years. I don't know why the town manager won't release whatever this new document is. I think we've probably spent about $700,000 now on consultants and legal to try and get a UDO. Isn't that enough? I mean, by the time you do Glenn Harvick and the lawyer and all the consultants for the last 5 years, the people of this town should be able to see that document. It should be on the website. It should be on the website within a week. How difficult is it to download the document, put it on the website? And I'm very disappointed that the zoning board isn't at least saying, yes, get the document out there. You want people to volunteer, let them take a look at it. We have terrific expertise in this town. There's just a terrific amount of talent in this town. And if they have to see that what you're talking about, you're more likely to have good volunteers. And I've told Carrie, I said, I really want this UDO review to be successful. I really do. But the more secret you make it, the more hidden, the more you keep suppressing information, excluding people, excluding the document, then it's not going to be successable. Part of the problem with the PD was the process in the beginning, because citizens should have had more public input. I encourage you to put public comments at the end of your agenda. There's a lot to learn from people in the town. There's a lot going on, and I think there should be more public participation. And I'm really sorry that I really didn't see it, it wasn't there last year, and I think that was one of the problems in the past. But I would really like you to please tell the manager to release the document. Why can't we see it? Or give me a reason why you want to keep it a secret.
Good evening, board, town manager, town planner. I'm Bill North, 39 Pleasant Ridge Road. And I remember some of the meetings where the comprehensive plan was kind of likened to the Holy Gospel and said it was the Bible. I'm not sure about any of that, but I do say that the comprehensive plan is very important. And I think you were all right. I saw a lot of head shaking that yes, that should be reviewed, and yes, that should be updated. I think that might lead us all in the right direction. I yield back my time to the next speaker.
That's it. He says I'm his better half, so.
You are.
I would just like, thank you, Bill.
Who you
My
are.
name is Ann North, and I would like to know how will the application process, which is something that I'd like to know at some point, how will the application process, the job descriptions, and the timeline for the citizen committee be communicated to citizens, and the input that the town council has received from citizens related to development ordinances and the PD, how will that be incorporated into the work that the citizen committee takes on? And it's going to be interesting, because if $300,000 couldn't accomplish it in 7 years, it seems like a citizen committee will have its hands full to do it by January, if I understood. So,
Spring.
anyway, we need a good committee, I know that.
Bob Jones, 5704 Snow Hill Drive. I think the zoning board has a real chance to show this town its leadership. You have the opportunity to really help guide the future of this town through a proper way of looking at things and the order of things that happen in this town. The comprehensive plan is our Bible. That's how it was positioned. It seems like we need to have a unified ordinance. Then you can consider the PD. I think this is the order of things, and for you not to be clear to the town council about that would be a big mistake. I also think the zoning board has a great chance to show leadership with the citizen-based group that's going to work hard and fast. They're going to depend upon your knowledge and your expertise, including the alternates. This is a great opportunity, and I encourage you not to waste it. Thank you.
Last row, this row. There your reports. No row. Comments. Last row.
Hello, my name is Jan Cook. I live at 5902 Henson Farm Road, and I just would like the zoning board to use lots of care in considering these things. I like the idea of the order that the last was talked about, because I'm really worried about some of the decisions. Every day I drive by this, well, it's now a mud pit. It was a war zone. It went into sort of a dust bowl stage there for the Henson Village, and there's no site plan still available on it. It's been clear cut. I think that decision, the way that it was handled back at that time at rezoning, there should have been more things in writing and more clear requirements. So that's just what I'm asking. Thank you.
Just really quickly on the PD, and we're all human beings and we all make mistakes. I would like to thank Mr. Davis for his testimony because I felt the document was a catastrophe. And I didn't know very much about form-based zoning until the day after that zoning board hearing because I'd never heard of it before, but I've done an extensive amount of research. And I'd sent some questions to you all just to know if you knew it was going to be a form-based PD because the document was not available until the day of the meeting for citizens. You all may have had it earlier, I don't know. But anyone who worked that day, there was no way they could have read it before that zoning board meeting. They got off work at 5, 6 o'clock. Couldn't have been prepared to read it. So I had not read the document, just went to the meeting to hear it. But there were some major things that were missing, like a regulating map would be really helpful. Like, do you want this to go everywhere? I mean, is every place now up for a PD? Or, you know, are we going to limit that? Because most towns limit that to account for, and or like in our town, I would think more around 220, we have a major road ingress, you know, where you have egress and ingress that's going to be able to take that kind of traffic without burdening all the citizens. So that was one thing. There was public standards, building standards, definitions, all these things were just not clear. I mean, we had things like the word quality. I mean, how do you measure quality? I mean, quality to one person can be one thing, and quality to another person can be another. There was no definitions in that document. The 75-acre threshold I thought was just really, really high. I mean, Oak Ridge's PD, I kind of looked at their ordinance, which had a lot more specifics. I mean, theirs is only 25 acres. I mean, I think if you're going to do a planned development, the last thing you want to do is encourage 1,200 acres to be developed tomorrow. I think that would be really detrimental to our community. So I would just, you know, like you to consider those things if that comes back again. But in all the decisions, I think like the last person said, just because we all have to live with them as they're occurring. And we do have to look at the war zone, it's kind of what our neighborhood calls it now. And it is unpleasant, I'll have to say. It's not pleasant to see trees that are cut like that. And, you know, the whole landscape changed. So that was my one question was, did you know there was a form-based zoning? Did you understand or research that type of zoning prior to the meeting? Because it's a little different and it's totally different than our UDO. And then, you know, I just wondered if you know, I know you all serve at the pleasure of the council as a former councilwoman. And so I just wondered if you felt any pressure from the council. And I know you're probably not going to answer these questions, but, you know, I'll be here after the meeting. Thank you.
I'll answer the last question.
Okay.
And that is,
excellent.
I haven't talked to anybody from town council in like 8 years, and I don't even know who's on the town council.
Good answer.
I know my
Before.
Well, before the
Before?
hearing.
Before the
hearing.
23rd.
Long before.
Before the hearing, but, I mean, after it was first introduced to you as a concept, but before the hearing.
Yes, of course. Extensively. I read ordinances here. Oh, can I just read you the letter that I wrote you, that the lawyer said don't send?
It's a good letter.
All right, it says the zoning board member, the town council passed the following document, which is asking us to come up with a plan development ordinance, right? And it says, as a zoning board member, my job is to enforce the zoning laws of the town of Summerfield. If the town council directs us to evaluate a plan development ordinance, then that is also part of my job. Before we voted, I researched this type of zoning extensively. I read plan development ordinances of several similar sized towns. I read multiple articles about form-based codes. Serving as a volunteer does not relieve me of the responsibility to understand what I'm voting on. And then to answer your question about the comprehensive plan, we always refer to the comprehensive plan in making zoning decisions, so that is nothing new. The Trails and Open Space Committee had nothing to do with my vote. After the presentations we saw, and having many questions answered, and doing my own research, and suggesting changes to the amendment as presented by staff, I voted to recommend approval of the PD ordinance to the town council. And as you know, the zoning board is only a recommending entity. So, and it just says that Summerfield will continue to grow. We have massive highways coming through. Planned developments can be unique and vital areas. We deserve the right to have the best development possible. And also, since the town council has remanded the ordinance back to us, I will get another chance to look at it. And I also thank you for your service on the town council.
Next.
There you go. Sorry, this is
David? Mr. Couch? Any comments? Next one.
Well, I have everything.
Thank Gus for last.
You're making all kinds of points tonight.
So Melissa Wooden, 7603 Martha Lynn. I actually didn't come here with any intention of speaking, so I really don't have anything planned to say, but I'm a small business owner, my husband and I are, several years ago we went to a consulting class, and I remember the speaker saying that for every one person that speaks up about your business, whether it's a comment or internet review or whatever, or maybe they're complaining, they usually represent 10 other people. And only one person, or 10% of people generally speak up and they like to give their opinion. So I just urge you to remember that, a lot of people are fired up about a lot of issues in the community, specifically this plan of development, and I think it's really important to listen to them because, I went to the Q&A and I went to one of the town council meetings and I saw hundreds of people there speaking, and if that's really, 10% of our community's opinions, I really hope that you are taking into account. And I know there was supposed to be some release of
A summary
of citizens, and so I just hope that you take that to heart. And also, I really do urge you to allow public comments because I think it's important. There's a lot of really smart people. I'm not one of those, but I do feel it's important that you hear from the citizens. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. No one else? Any further business?
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I just want to go on record, I want to thank Nancy for all her hard work and dedication on this board,
yeah.
for all that she's done, and we appreciate her efforts, and she'll be missed.
Thanks, Jeff, I'm glad that you.
Motion to adjourn.
I moved to adjourn.
All in favor? You have any cases next month?
Yes.
We do. Come back next month.